a 100. Always say 800, but it's 100 AI podcasts. It's a space for us, the researchers and clinical psychotherapists of the CURA100 supergroup, so that we can have the opportunity to present our research of the day, research of the week. Most of our clinicians also investigate on important topics that are relevant to humanity, are relevant to us, to our patient, which is the most important thing. So ever since we do it, you're thinking, how can we improve technology approaches, psychotherapy, psychoanalysis, or the dynamic using technology, neuroscience, and also AI. So this is dear for us. It's also want to give a impact in humanity, and also we want to learn something to give to our patients and to people the best knowledge that we can give. Today is our sixth episode of the Cura 800 podcast. Boom! So we have 5 weeks, and today is going to be our 6 weeks. And Evelyn Fonseca will be introduced by Kari Mariusun. And we're happy to let you know that Evelyn Fonseca is streaming from Chicago. Mario Zoom is streaming from Turkey, New York, Europe. Oh, she's in Turkey. And Alison Pozo Cervantes from Ecuador, but she is very close to me in Kissimmee. Dr. Gloria Jean Baptist, she is in Brooklyn, New York. And myself, well, I am just here in Story Greek, presenting everything that you like to know, which is knowledge, mental health, psychotherapy, psychoanalysis, and the interventions of AI coaches in everything that we have to do with healing the world. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you Kari Marie Uson, who she's our Cura 100 coordinator and relationship and marketing directors. With you, Kara Marie Uson, who will present Evelyn Fonseca.
Thank you, Dr. Piña. Let me tell you a little bit about our presenter now. Evelyn Fonseca is a recent graduate of Niagara University, where she earned a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology with a minor in Sociology and graduated cum laude with a 3.55 GPA in May of 2024. Currently, she holds the position as Coordinator and Billing Specialist for the CURA100 initiative developed by the Hispanic Mental Health Counseling, PLLC. Throughout her academic journey, she's had the privilege of collaborating with the Clinical Psychologist and Professor on an honors thesis through the Departmental Honors Program. Evelyn's research was presented at various prestigious conferences, including the Eastern Psychological Association's annual convention and the NU Undergraduate Research Conference. She also completed a 200-hour internship with the Niagara Alliance for Restorative Practices, where she facilitated restorative circles and worked alongside a school psychologist to support underfunded schools. She's committed to advancing her education and plans to pursue a master's degree in mental health counseling. She's recognized for her compassion, interpersonal skills, diligence, and dedication to the field of psychology. Currently, she resides in the greater Chicago area. I'd like to present to you now Evelyn Fonseca.
Bravo. Yes. Woo.
Thank you so much, Karen. Production. So,
You're breaking.
This.
You're breaking. Now it's good. Go ahead.
It's good?
It's good.
Okay. So this is going to be my third presentation on this topic, actually. I did similar topics and similar presentations in Summit number 1 and Summit number 2 of our TMCCI Summit meetings. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here.
Dr. Pina, you were muted.
No, it's okay. You can go. You was talking
But
by
I'm
myself.
sorry, I just took out my AirPods. I was having issues. Okay, so yeah, AI and human coaching platforms, a meta-analysis. So this meta-analysis explores how AI and human coaching platforms function in developing and delivering treatment plans. So as technology rapidly transforms professional and personal development spaces, both AI-driven and human-led coaching approaches are evolving. And so here we evaluate their effectiveness, their structure, practical applications in organizations, and also the associated ethical considerations. And so the research reveals complementary strengths between AI scalability and human coaches' emotional intelligence, suggesting optimal outcomes through hybrid approaches. So first, we're going to be understanding different coaching platforms. So starting with the AI coaching platforms, these platforms utilize machine learning, natural language processing, and big data analytics to deliver personalized, scalable coaching experiences. So there are some like specific examples of AI integrated tools and solutions and things like that. But specifically with AI coaching platforms, some of their biggest pros here are provide instant feedback and data-driven tracking. It's scalable for thousands of employees and is very cost-effective and accessible 24/7, which is very important. Moving on to human coaching. So these platforms connect clients with certified professional coaches through digital interfaces. So different programs such as Torch and also BetterUp, that was in the AI coaching. These are just more like actual specific models, but these models focus more on the interpersonal connections there. And so some of the pros with the human coaching, deep connections through live sessions, tailored plans built on emotional cues, and nuanced support for leadership development. And then for the hybrid platforms, some of these platforms offer a mix of AI and human coaching, and this combines the digital tools with personal sessions. And it just provides both the convenience and the insight of both AI and human. And then this is something, the hybrid is what we're going to be talking about a lot more throughout this presentation. So structure of treatment plans. So when looking at AI-based treatment plans guided by AI are typically structured around goal setting algorithms that adapt to user progress. So they incorporate things like behavioral nudges, reminders, pre-programmed reflection prompts, and gamified simulations for real-world practice. So again, these are more like pre-programmed, like they said, like algorithms and things like that that work with patients versus a human-based treatment plans. It's a little more like client friendly. Human coaches often design dynamic, relationship-centered treatment plans that include deep dialogue and trust building. And they utilize coaching models, feedback loops based on verbal and nonverbal cues, and also emotional exploration tailored to the client. So the structural differences between AI and human coaching plans reflect their inherent strengths. So AI excels at consistency and at data-driven approaches, while human coaches bring the flexibility and that emotional intelligence that AI cannot bring yet. So moving on to effectiveness research findings. So these are kind of just like some specific examples found in the research of the meta-analysis. So starting with the first one, it says in 2 10-month trials, AI coaching matched human coaching and helping clients achieve personal goals. Frequent lower-cost AI sessions help participants make steady progress, although human coaches still provided better emotional support. Again, a theme that we will keep seeing throughout the presentation. And then moving on to another research finding, this one actually showed that AI outperformed human coaching in technical and task-based learning. However, again, human coaching showed higher effectiveness in emotional intelligence and leadership development. Again, those skills that AI just can't replicate yet. And then lastly, a meta-analysis of 45 RCTs found AI coaching offers more consistent access and uniform treatment delivery, while human coaching led to deeper, longer-lasting behavioral changes. So I think that's also an important finding here too. Human coaching led to deeper, longer-lasting behavioral changes. I think that's, that's something that's important to explore here when we look at the long-term changes being made and things like that, the long-term outcomes. So moving on next, implementation in organizations, AI integration. So companies such as DHL and Johnson & Johnson use AI-driven platforms to analyze employee skills, deliver self-paced training modules, and provide tailored recommendations based on role and performance data. So this is something that is seen a lot more in these, very big companies with lots of employees and things like that. That's where, you would first mostly see this AI integration. And then so moving on, this is a finding that actually showed that AI adoption initially disrupted productivity in the workplace, but it eventually led to long-term increases in output, revenue, and job creation. So I included this because I think that's probably something, that would be a common theme between companies that start to include AI into their, giving this to their employees and things like that. I think it makes sense that you would see, the workplace being initially disrupted and, an initial decline maybe at first just because this is new. Think people are getting used to this. Not a lot of people are very familiar with AI. So yeah, I thought that was, something important to watch out for and to recognize. And then lastly, organizations still do rely on human coaches for executive development, navigating complex interpersonal challenges, and establishing long-term mentoring relationships. So again, these are the more interpersonal, the more emotionally intelligent kind of, connections and relationships that AI is just not able to replicate. So the implementation of coaching platforms varies widely across organizations, with many adopting a mixed approach that leverages both AI efficiency and human expertise, where each is most effective. Moving on to challenges and ethical considerations. So for the first one is algorithmic bias. So AI systems can reinforce biases found in their training data, potentially leading to inequitable treatment plans, reinforcement of stereotypes, and lack of transparency in decision making. So, this is definitely important. And it kind of moves on to this last point over here, oversight. So you have to ensure that appropriate supervision of AI coaching systems remains challenging, particularly as they become more autonomous in their decision making. So as it says here, it's very important to be aware that this supervision of AI coaching is very challenging. And if there's, biases that may come up and things like that, it's very important to watch out for these things. And then another point here, privacy and confidentiality. AI coaching platforms must prioritize data security due to the sensitive nature of client inputs and personal development information. Again, something that is very, very important there. And then access and equity. There's a growing concern that wealthier clients receive premium human-led coaching while others rely on lower cost AI, potentially widening the development gap. Again, as shown through here, maybe if there are, different groups of people who are just having to rely on just AI, and then there are different groups of people that can receive maybe the hybrid approach or just human-led coaching, it can, widen this gap a lot more. However, if there are lower cost AI options, then it could, these options can be available to those who may not be even able to think of this as an option for themselves in general. So that is a pro to that con. And then moving on to the best practices for hybrid coaching. So the most effective approach appears to be the hybrid coaching model that uses AI for efficiency, scalability, and consistent structure while leveraging human insight for emotional intelligence, motivation, and leadership development. So this is something that we, kind of a point that was kind of made earlier in the presentation, that the most effective practice when it comes to hybrid coaching models is using the strengths of both AI and human coaching. So the strengths of AI coaching is efficiency, scalability, consistency, and structure, while human coaching is that emotional intelligence, motivation, leadership development, mentoring, things like that. And so organizations implementing hybrid models should ensure equitable access to both AI and human coaching resources, creating systems that match the right coaching approach to specific development needs. And then here we have some comparative strengths. I think we looked a lot about some of the cons and some of the weaknesses in the beginning, but this is now moving on to the strengths. So this comparative analysis highlights the complementary nature of AI and human coaching approaches. While AI excels in accessibility, scalability, and data-driven insights, human coaches demonstrate superior capabilities in emotional intelligence and leadership development. So as you can see here, there are some of these main aspects here: availability, scalability, cost, things like that. And then AI coaching and human coaching. So again, some of these things have been brought up, like the cost. AI coaching, it definitely has a lower cost per session. However, emotional intelligence is limited in AI coaching, where it's very strong in human coaching, and different things like that. So it's important to kind of look at some kind of model like this, where you're able to see, kind of the strengths and weaknesses between each one and how those can work together to create something where it's as effective as possible. So future directions in coaching. So one is enhanced AI empathy, the development of more emotionally intelligent AI coaching systems, specialized human skills. So human coaches may want to focus on complex emotional and leadership challenges. Some of the strengths that human coaches are, way better at than the AI coaching. Seamless integration, fluid transitions between AI and human coaching based on need, global accessibility, equitable access to quality coaching across socioeconomic boundaries, that I think is also very important. And the future of coaching will likely see continued evolution of AI capabilities while preserving the unique value of human connection. Research suggests that organizations will increasingly adopt sophisticated hybrid models that dynamically allocate AI or human coaching resources based on specific development needs and contexts. And emerging technologies may also bridge current gaps, potentially enabling AI systems with greater emotional intelligence while helping human coaches leverage data more effectively. So again, some of the future directions are working on creating that hybrid approach and working on strengthening some of the weaknesses between AI and human coaching. And then, so moving on to the conclusion, the complementary approach, which is, hybrid approach, seems like it's the most effective throughout here. So starts with recognized complementary strengths, and AI enables structured, data-driven treatment plans at scale, while human coaches bring emotional insight, trust, and adaptability. Implement hybrid models. Organizations should develop systems that leverage both AI efficiency and human emotional intelligence where each is most effective. Ensure ethical implementation. Regular auditing for bias, maintaining privacy standards, and providing equitable access to coaching resources are essential for responsible deployment. So lastly, AI and human coaching platforms both offer unique strengths that, when combined thoughtfully, create a comprehensive, personalized coaching experience. And this integrated approach supports both organizational performance and individual growth, providing the structure and consistency of AI alongside the emotional intelligence and adaptability of human coaches. And that is going to be the end of my presentation.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good, Pooch. And I see, Evelyn Fonseca, that you're becoming an expert on the topic of human coaching and AI coaching. What is your biggest lessons from the presentations that you have done so far? You presented in the summit number 1 of the Total Meta Coaching and Consultant Institute. Summit number 2 also, and now you're part of a AI CURA100 AI podcast. What is the lessons that you got from this? And I want Kara, can you go and share a video that I sent of a model speaking? Most likely some kind of try to get it, put it together, while Evelyn gave us some kind of your experience, your lessons from this amazing field of AI coaching and human coaching.
Yeah, so I think the main lesson that I kind of learned was when I was, starting my research and getting the topic and things like that. My first thought was, human coaching is going to basically win every time. Human coaching, AI can't replicate it. It's not like any type of AI coaching is never going to be the same as human coaching. That's kind of what I thought at the beginning. And then doing all this research and seeing, you see all of the pros and cons that both add, and you see that actually the most effective coaching technique is when you combine both of them. And when you use the strengths of both human and AI. And that's something that, I always just kind of thought that AI, especially with something like this, with human connection and relationships, stuff like, I always thought that AI would never come close to, providing the positive outcomes that you want to provide to your patients or your clients. And so, I thought, I just thought that was just very interesting how, AI coaching doesn't completely match it and human coaching doesn't completely match AI. They have their strengths and weaknesses and they work best together.
Do you see any in your research, do you see any trends in what area of the mental fields is going to be used? If it's better for children, for adult, for senior, for a particular disorders, if it's going to be for anxiety, so the depression, or for life, where do you see the fields of coaching moving forward?
So within my research, I saw it most of the research was towards life coaching, wellness coaching, stuff like that. and also not towards like in terms of different groups. Most that were mentioned were different socioeconomic groups. So like they were saying, with AI coaching becoming more popular, that's something that is much more affordable than having than hiring a human coach. And so that's kind of like when it comes to like different groups, I definitely saw more of the socioeconomic side in the research. And yeah, more life coaching and wellness, but that would definitely be very interesting for my next topic, is to look at more specific to mental health and what specific areas are rising within the mental health field, I guess, and AI and human coaching.
That would be perfect to see more explorations in that field, because we know executive coaching, organizational coaching, life coaching, but how can we go about in terms of the different disorders? Because coaching is most likely for the human complete approach of someone who just want to go from point A to point B. And it will be interesting to find out if there are researchers in the area of coaching, AI coaching, and mental disorders specifically, if it's something proven there. And also, we would like to see in the future some example of the Better App, Coach Hub, and Torch Hub that are or hybrid mode and can be used also independently. So that's something I would like to see in the future. What do you know about that, and what can you tell us?
Oh yeah, so about those, I don't have too much. I'm not too familiar with the like specifics about those platforms, but I know again they are used for they are newer platforms that incorporate both AI and human coaching, and yeah, I think it's just these are newer approaches kind of being taken up more by businesses, and some of these businesses who they want maybe all of their employees to have some experience, like you said, with executive coaching, or maybe even just offering that as something, just offering it to all of their employees as a benefit or something like that. So that's kind of the direction I've seen that mostly with bigger companies who have thousands of employees and things like that.
Yeah, I sent to our chat of our initiative in CURA100 a video that the park group sent me. There's some kind of a mirror in the initiative that there is a person, there's a woman, I believe. There is a man coming from the streets, and he comes from the streets and he goes to this room, and when he goes to his room, he is having a consultation with this AI coaching. I don't know if you have it, Cara, Maria, Ilsum, if you find it, but I send it to you if you can share it.
Yeah. I think I found it. Do you want me to share it now?
Share it and share it. Let's watch the video and let's comment on it. This is a presentation that's coming through the our not-for-profit, the International Meta Poetry Movement, and in the United States, and also the AEM, which is the Academia of Meta Poetry in Europe, in Madrid, and the FDPM, the Foundation of Psychoanalysis and Meta Poetry in the Dominican Republic. So as the weather is in Florida, cold, I am under the weather too. So let's continue. If you have it, you can share it at any time.
All right, let me just open up.
Open up the whole screen. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see.
Sound?
I can't, let me see. I can't turn it up much louder. It's turned up as loud as I can.
Okay, we don't hear the sound, but
hi, Grant. It's good to see you again.
You don't hear
I'm
this?
Nurse Jenny.
Yeah, now yes. Go back from the beginning. Go from the
I feel
beginning.
fine. My energy levels are normal.
That's great.
this is someone who's coming from the street. We know what he's going to go. If he's going to go to the movie, to the store, or something like that, he go to this beautiful office, like a consultation psychological office or something like that, and then boom.
Hi, Grant. It's good to see you again. I'm Nurse Jenny. How are you feeling today?
I feel fine. My energy levels are normal.
That's great to hear. I'd love to understand a bit more about your overall wellness. Please let me know which of the categories you'd like to explore: sleep, nutrition, or general physical state.
Sleep.
Thanks, Grant. Let's talk about your sleep. How have you been sleeping lately? Do you wake up and fall asleep at regular times? And when you sleep, how would you describe the quality of your rest?
I've actually been having some trouble sleeping. I keep waking up feeling pretty unrested.
Would you like me to schedule an appointment with a United Health sleep apnea treatment specialist?
Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
Confirmed. Tuesday, April 8th at 10 a.m. with sleep specialist.
Okay, cool.
Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's everything. Thank you.
Perfect. Just a reminder, your next digital checkup is scheduled for May 13th, 2025. You'll receive a reminder text and we'll also follow up on your sleep at that time. Take care, Grant.
Thank you.
All right. So as you
I'm
can
well.
see, it took less than 2 minutes to go and follow up in terms of your energy, your life conditions, difficulties, like you sleep, your nutrition. She was very careful as a AI coaching, as a mirror avatar, not to go and make a diagnosis. You see that if there's no diagnosis, there is no treatment, and following up on your energy and specifically in kind of your energy, your sleep trouble. Okay, and then, which is very interesting, it's it's taking information from you, what is it that you have, what is it that you need, and then go and make and schedule an appointment. Okay, and then make sure that she reminds you your appointment date and things like that. Most likely it will follow up with a test also, or an email that this is your appointment, a follow up, because as Evelyn put it together, it's good on efficiency and scheduling and the structure. It's all the algorithm allow you to be there persistent. Do you think, Evelyn Fonseca, there's something that is going to be part of the future?
Yeah, I definitely think so for sure.
Okay, so that's something that we have to prepare with. I have a meeting with the Abby. She's the director of AI Wellness, and she has this. This is his model of. I can have it in the art. I can have it in Europe. I can have it in Ecuador. Can have it in Chicago, and just the patients go, and it's a way to take information from you for the next visit. And also that mirror, it can be placed in any medical office, any wellness office around the world, and it's going to happen like that. It's some kind of a screening, taking information and a scheduling appointment to the patients right there whenever you need it. You're going to find it in malls, for example. I know that there is this program that take some booth in specific university on the specific rural, and a model avatar completely, in this case a nurse or a doctor, show up in the screen. And also you can go, and they have an infrared that can take your temperature. There is a stethoscope that you go and you get your stethoscope and you put it. There is a focal light um, augmented mirror that can see if you have any lesions, and I can check it out very carefully, and the doctor can say, okay, this is an infestation of, okay, now I want you to I will give you, and they can prescribe, make a treatment. And also, because it's a booth, if you come in an emergency, you can speak to the doctor having a heart attack. You can talk in, and while you're talking, the doctor is also calling 911. And then the because 911 knows where those booths are located, something that you can do. So do you see also that part of the EMMM moving forward? That's combination, Evelyn?
Yeah, I definitely think that is very valuable for EMMM, things like that. Especially these platforms that are, you know, some of these consultations or appointments that even, you know, right now the human professional itself can't make the diagnosis, you know, isn't licensed to make that diagnosis. I think it's, you know, I think this would be a great way to kind of, I guess, move into that with AI, you know, because I think when it comes to diagnosing things like that, maybe it starts to get a little tricky to when it just comes to AI in general. But I think with things like this, setting up appointments, you know, moving closer to that diagnosis, but not exactly that level of professional, I think that this is you know, it's a great start and a great way to start that implementation.
Perfect. Let's go to Mario Sum. Do you have anything to say? Then we're going to go to Dr. Gloria Baptist, and we have also Alison Pozo Cervantes, and we have Stephanie Adon. Remember that we're streaming live now in YouTube. This is our podcast number 6 podcast. I know that Evelyn Mateo presented a podcast on vertigo, and Dr. Gloria Jane Baptist in terms of recommendations of digital treatments. So I spoke about the EMMM, the meta mind, the neuroscience, psychoanalysis, and psychology and positive psychology together. So this is it. Mario Zoom, do you have anything to say or ask, or any question or comment for Evelyn Fonseca?
Of course. First, it was an amazing presentation, and you really are becoming an expert, if not so already. I found your presentation was very comprehensive. I learned a lot. I was actually taking notes. I just had 2 opinion questions on what you thought. You know, maybe I've seen too many sci-fi movies about robots and AI, and I was just thinking, you know, as a clinician myself, one was, as AI becomes more sophisticated, do you see it becoming more emotionally intelligent? You know, is that something in the future where we have to worry that these guys are going to, you know, contribute to our demise, you know?
No, I definitely, yeah, that was definitely like, you know, something when I saw that the, you know, future next steps is working to make AI, you know, have that more humanistic kind of emotional intelligence and things like that. But I don't see it ever coming to a point where it can completely replace, you know, what humans themselves like bring to, you know, these, when it comes to things like coaching. And, you know, I also think of mental health and therapy and things like that. When it comes to these, you know, human relationship kind of jobs and I guess, you know, things like that, I can't see it ever coming to a point where it is a replacement. I do think that you know, it might replace more and more jobs as it becomes more intelligent. You know, with that video that we shared, it was kind of making me think of nurse practitioners and how that being a nurse practitioner, that was a huge growing field in the last like 5-6 years. I remember when I was first applying to undergraduate, it was a huge field. And then after I watched that video, you know, because that's kind of the main things that a nurse practitioner does, they can't quite diagnose, I don't believe. But, you know, they work with intakes and things like that. And so my main thought after that was, well, wow, I wonder, you know, I wonder how, if this is still a growing, like, you know, as much of a growing field as not, or if maybe stuff like that we just watched is gonna start replacing some of these jobs and things like that. So, yeah, well, maybe it comes to like, you know, something like more like that with mental health professionals and coaches. I don't think that it will ever, you know, I don't think it'll have that replacement
That's good.
anytime
Yeah,
soon, at least.
And all you can do is just turn off.
Right.
that's great.
I start running, you know. Any
Thank you,
other
Evelyn.
questions, Maria Zoom?
I'll let somebody else go. If there's time, I have another one, just another opinion question.
Okay, what do you think, Gloria Jean Baptiste, about this presentation? Do you have any question?
First of all, good morning. I think it's an interesting area of research, an interesting area of discovery, and an interesting area of mental health practice. I want to agree to a large extent with Evelyn that while AI is playing a very important role, making new inroads, breaking barriers, and the whole concept of treatment in mental health, I strongly believe that the key to successful diagnosis, treatment plans, prescriptions for medication, the role of AI would have to be monitored, boundaries would have to be set, and the interaction between the human coaching and the use of digital data or tools, they both need each other. It's a blend. Depending on AI alone could be some ethical issues, some critical disasters could culminate on human life, which there is no compromise for. So, like Evelyn said, in a nutshell, there must be a marrying of the two processes to come about with a comprehensive diagnosis and treatment plan for mental health.
Evelyn, you have something to add?
No, yeah, I think that was perfect. I think that was, that's a lot of what like you said, like what I was saying in the presentation itself. Yeah, I think it's especially, we can't stop AI from growing as much as it is now and as fast as it is, but at least we can try to incorporate it into, the fields that we already have now and make them stronger, I guess.
Excellent. We have Carlins Guima. Our CURA100 is also a bilingual platform. Nosotros tenemos aquí a Alison Pozo Cervantes. Alison, ¿qué te pareció la conversación y la presentación de Evelyn Fonseca? So what do you think was the presentations of Evelyn? We are bilingual. We can speak French, English, German, and Italian. So we have Alison here. She speaks Spanish and French.
Spanish and French, but it's okay if I say it in Spanish.
Oh, yes, claro.
Okay.
Yo
Está bien.
traduzco.
Excelente presentación, Evelyn, una información muy buena. También dentro de todo lo que decías, obviamente la inteligencia artificial pues nunca podrá llegar a tener esa emoción que una persona podría tenerla.
She says that the intelligence AI will never have that kind of deep, intelligent understanding that a human can have. And she want to thank you for this lovely and emotional presentation.
Ya. Y también algo importante y que sería muy bueno, digo, a futuro, obviamente la inteligencia artificial está yendo cada vez más rápido y teniendo una mejor efectividad, por ejemplo, a nivel ahora de psicoterapias. También
It's going more deepest in the area of psychotherapy and it's being more effective, so that it has a lot of future.
Sí, y también el hecho de trabajar con la inteligencia artificial puede ayudar a una mejor efectividad. Trabajarla a la mano, obviamente, me acuerdo, hay 2 cuadros de diferencia entre la inteligencia artificial y o una persona, más o menos diferencias de precio, la emoción y todo esto que conlleva. Es importante que, digo, a un futuro sería mucho mejor complementar a la persona con la inteligencia artificial y dar un mejor desempeño en la psicoterapia, un mejor trabajo para poder trabajarlo como en grupo, para que sea un poco más efectivo todo. Es algo
she's talking that also she expects that it's going to be a combination of group therapy, effectiveness in terms of the human psychotherapy and the AI, and also in terms of pricings.
Ujú. Sí, y muy buena presentación, es una información nueva para mí y muchas gracias.
It's a good presentation. It's a new information for her, and thank you very much. Evelyn, you want to say something about it?
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think we're all kind of on the same page here, stuff like that.
All right. So, Evelyn, Mateo, before we go, you want to say something? You want to add something to the conversation we're having? I know I saw you in the supermarket, so that's why I mute the video. But,
Yeah. Everything was amazing. Nice the presentation. Even so, the AI is giving us many things. We go out, our expression, our feeling with the people will be all the time us in the top, because the people need help, the people need love, the people need emotion. This is why the presentation was wonderful.
all right, Evelyn, anything to say?
Just thank you.
All right. So remind me who's going to present next Tuesday. It's going to be our episode number 7. And what is the topic?
ADD, couples, treatments and assessments.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful presentation today with Evelyn Fonseca presenting an AI human coach. She's now an expert. She's presented 3 times in our total meta coaching and now in the podcast for today. Gonna thank you, Evelyn, especially Maria Zoom from being here from Turkey, Alonso Pozo Cervantes, Dr. Gloria Jean Baptist, and Evelyn Mateo. This is Dr. Jorge Piña. This is CURA AI Podcast. And see you next Tuesday at 8 a.m. Bye-bye.